Hello near and dear ones, all of you students. In last session, we seen that the practical illustration as well as practical example number 1 we already completed, right? So in this session, the example number 2 which is given on the page number is 368. So this is the complete problem here, and with the help of this you should find out the break-even point. So let us try to understand that the selling price is given rupees 50, per unit is given, material per unit is 25, labor per unit is rupees 8, variable expense per unit here per unit rupees 2, and the fixed expense in terms of rupees, right, not in terms of unit. If in terms of unit, suppose given the fixed expenses there, right, so you have to require the in terms of rupees. Why? Because of you have to decide, suppose you if you want to find out the break-even point, right, so it required F stands for fixed expense and the selling price per unit and variable cost per unit also, right? So that's why the fixed expense required in terms of rupees, right? While you calculate the break-even point in terms of unit, right, as well as in terms of rupees as break-even sales, right? So let me try to understand that by wire the answer, right? So, see the first here the trade discount is allowed at 10%, right? Trade discount, right? So when you calculate the contribution with the help of simple the selling price and variable cost per unit, right? So instead of here the 50 rupees selling price, right, it required the deduction of trade discount, right? So first of all, find out the new selling price after deducting trade discount, right? So selling price per unit equal to rupees 50, then trade discount at the rate of 10%, so 5, then 45 rupees is your new SP. It means selling price per unit, right? And now the move forward to the calculation of contribution, right? As I told you that yes, in last lecture also, right, whenever if the single information, or it means the single year's information is given, right, or general information is given to calculate the break-even point and find out profit or loss and all the things, right? So you must require first of all contribution per unit, keep in mind, right? So let us start from again contribution. C stands for S minus V. So simple. Here the 45 rupees as S, right, you should consider. Right, now make it total. Make it total here 25 rupees material, labor per unit rupees 8, and variable expense per unit is rupees 2. Right? So here the variable cost, the calculation is required here. Right? 25 plus 8, 33, and 33 plus 2 variable expense per unit, so 35. How will come? 25 plus 8 plus 2, right? So rupees 10 per unit is your contribution. Then next find out your actual question, that is the desired break-even point, right? With the help of new selling price and contribution and all the things is required, right? So now calculation of BEP is equal to, simple formula is S minus V equal to, F is given well 150 you should consider, right? And if there is a per unit is suppose given, so in a question there may be given the selling unit, right? Production unit or sold unit. Production and selling unit is given, right? And if the selling unit is not given, right? Then selling price per unit and unit sold is given, right? So the rupees S minus V, that means 45 minus 35, and here the 10 is well calculated. So 1,50,000 then divided by 10, simple. So now the preset break-even point is 1,50,000 divided by 10. So simple, the answer is 15,000, which is units, right? And if I want to calculate in terms of rupees as break-even sales, so 15,000 simply multiplied by 45 instead of 50. Why? Because of the new selling price is 45. Right? So 15,000 multiplied by 45 rupees per unit. So total sales at BEP, we can say that, right? Sales at BEP or BEP sales, we can say, right? Simply 15,000 multiplied by 45 rupees selling price per unit. Here you are not required to suppose to calculate the break-even points as sales. It means sales at break-even point. You calculate only in terms of units. Right? So this is your second practical example, right? And now the example number 3. Now the example number 3. Page number 368, right? See, in this example, again you are required to calculate the break-even point, right? See, the question is, the following data is available for the Marvel company for the year 2018. The operating capacity is 80%, right? The name of company is Marvel company, right? The name of company, the data is given in the books of Marvel Company Limited, and for that the company is operating capacity is 80% at present, right? Then the manufactured units equal to 80,000. 80,000, this is units, right? Then the cost per unit is as under. Cost per units as under. Right? So first of all, the material rupees 5, material is equal to 5, labor is equal to 2, then direct expense is rupees 1, then fixed expense is rupees 2, then the make it total, all the things is that rupees 10, and this cost is known as total cost. Here the total cost is that. Then selling price rupees 13, and 3 difference is profit, right? So the data is given like that, right? In the books of Marvel Company, and company has operated, the present capacity is rupees 80. So the data is given on accordance with the operating capacity is 80. It means that the now company is operating their 80% level of capacity, right? With the help of they are manufactured. It means the company manufactured the units totally 80,000 at the rate of 80% level of capacity, right? So on the basis of that, the cost per units, the data given on cost per unit is given well, right? These are the cost data, right? As complete the last step is profit. Now, first of all, on the basis of this, you are required to prepare. You are required to calculate the break-even points. Here, calculate break-even points, BEP, right? So first of all, you should require the C again, right? If you suppose if you are going to calculate the contribution per unit, so it required variable cost per unit, right? And S. So the selling price is given well, right? So here the selling price is 13, right? The variable cost is not given, right? It means the given, right? But you are required to total the different items of relating with the variable cost is given, right? So simple, the material is variable cost, right? Is a part of prime cost, right? Material, labor and direct expense. Labor, direct expense, right? So these are the items which is relating with the variable cost, right? So variable cost make it total 5, 2 plus 1. So total is 1. 5, 2 plus 1, right? So here the contribution per unit is rupees 5, right? Now see, this is the variable cost, and with the help of this we can calculate here. We calculated the contribution per unit, right? Now find out the break-even point, right? See, here the fixed expense given in terms of rupees. As I told you in last example. In last example, the fixed expense given in terms of rupees, right? But in this example, the fixed expense given in terms of per unit. So here, for that purpose, the company manufactured 80,000 units. Company manufactured the 80,000 units, right? So simple, the fixed expense per unit is given here. 80,000 units is here. So simple, you should multiplication with this, right? So 80,000 multiplied by 2. So total fixed cost in terms of rupees you can get, right? So you can get 1,60,000 as fixed expense in terms of rupees. So now find out BEP in terms of units. Simple F upon S minus P. F, how it will come? 1,60,000. See, 80,000 units multiplied by 2 per units, right? So 160 divided by 30 minus, directly we can also put here the 5, right? Or 30 minus 8, likewise that, right? So the answer is, as per your book, the answer is 32,000. So complete this solution. The answer come is 32,000 units as the given units, right? Now the requirement of BEP in terms of sales, rupees. Why? Because of it happen here. For that purpose here, the units is given. Break-even point in terms of rupees. It means the sales as BEP. Sales at BEP. Why it happened here to require to calculate, right? The answer is only the unit is given in example. So you can calculate the break-even point. You should require to calculate the break-even point in terms of rupees, right? So the sales at BEP also you can call as the sales at BEP is equal to 32,000 multiplied by the selling price per unit is how much? 13, right? Then the answer your 4,16,000, which is not given the answer in your book, right? But you can calculate the sales at BEP if the unit is given. right? You can easily calculate it, right? It is done with also with the help of formula, and formula is simple. See, this is the unit related formula, and if you simple multiply by with s, so you can calculate with the help of this formula is cells at BEP, right? So this is your example number 3, right? I hope you understood, and you just keep it, note it down for your future, right? Then next example number 4, right? Now the practical number 4, right, which is page number on again 368, right? To find out the cells required to earn profit from the following data, right? So find out one solution. Find out cells required to earn profit of rupees 1,80,000, right, from the following data, right? So see, the question is to find out the cells required. So if you see the word cells required in a particular question as a problem, right, then which formula you should apply here, right? It means the how you can identify that, right, which formula you applied, right? So simple, F upon S minus V, you know that well. And this formula is relating with the break-even point in terms of units, right? If the word profit, to earn profit of rupees 1,80,000, if you see that, right, then you simple add into F plus P, right? So you can calculate the cells required in terms of units, right? And instead of to earn profit, there may be given the cells required to there may be loss of rupees 1,80,000. So instead of here the plus P, so there will be F minus L. Why? Because of the loss is given. In that case, you are required to calculate the cells required, right? So I hope you understood this formula, right? So here the question is the selling price per unit is equal to rupees 20. Variable factory expense is rupees 11. Variable selling expense is rupees 3. And now the fixed expense which is totally related with the factory is rupees 5,40,000, and fixed expense which is totally related with the sales, right, is amounted to rupees 2,52,000. So find out the sales required to earn profit of rupees 1,80,000 from the data given, right? So first of all, here the fixed cost is given in by way of in two terms, right? The fixed expense which is totally related with the factory, right, and fixed expense is totally related with the sales department, right? So make it total of fixed expense 5,40,000 plus 2,52,000, right? So total 7,92,000 your total fixed expense, right? So first of all, total fixed expense is equal to 5,40,000 plus 2,52,000, 2000. So total fixed cost, it means total TFC 792. It means 7,92,000. Then here the total variable cost is 14 rupees. Total variable cost is 14 rupees. Right? Right? Yes. Then selling price per unit is given well. Right? So you just think about that. See, the formula is cells required to find out cells required. Right? So cells required. So which formula we can use here? Okay, very simple. Okay, F plus V upon S minus V. With the help of the profit. Right? So total variable cost is we can get 40 rupees. Right? Total variable cost, which is same in case of fixed expense, 11 plus 3, so total 40. Now fixed expense is 7,92,000 plus profit is given. With the help of profit you should calculate the required cells, and this formula is which is same related with the break-even point in terms of unit. Right? See, if the P is absent here, so now this formula is relating with the break-even point in terms of units. Right? But if the profit is given, in that case you are required to suppose calculate the cells required, right? And you just added in fixed expense, right? It means P, so F plus P, right? 7,92,000 plus 1,80,000. Then S minus V, that means here the S is what? The S is 20 and V, that means 40. Now you can also calculate this separately. C is equal to S minus V, and 20 minus 14 is equal to 6. Right? So make it total 7,92,000 plus 180. So 9 lakhs 9,72,000. The total is, right? And divided by 6. So answer is, as per your book, 1,62,000 in terms of units. So this is the answer, is cells required, and this is your question. Right? So this is example number 4. I hope you again understood well, right? And if you have any query, please, again I am telling you, you can freely contact me, right? Then next, I am going to start to calculate the PVR with the information given, right? How to calculate the PVR, profit volume ratio, and how to calculate the fixed expense. Up to this example, the fixed expense given well, but now I am going to start to see the practical illustration number 6, which is given on page number 338. So let us see that. See the practical illustration number 6, which is given on 338 page number, right? So before I am writing here the problem, I want to share with you guys one thing, is that, see, if the 2 years information is given, 2 years information is given in that sense, suppose year 2005 and 2006, suppose, right? So in that case, if you have asked in exam to calculate the PVR, right? The PVR is calculated by way of two formula, right? If the 2 years information is not given and along with the PVR is calculated, right? So in that case, the PVR is calculated. The simple formula is equal to C upon S multiplied by 100. C upon S multiplied by 100. This is if the single year information is given or general information given in the particular in the books of company. But if you have required or given in a question as a question 2 years information, and in that you are supposed to require to calculate the PVR, so the PVR formula of PVR is changed, right? We seen that in our 2 or 3rd lecture, 2nd or 3rd lecture, right? So in that case, the PVR formula is symbolically signed with the delta. Delta, that means change, right? So the question is the data or result, suppose the result of which company last 2 years of JG company Limited RS under, right? So here the amount of sales which is given in terms of rupees, and here the profit also in terms of rupees, right? See, this is the question, suppose given like that, right? 2005 amount of sales rupees, suppose 5 lakhs 40,000 in your as per your books, 6 lakhs and 12,000 and 30,000, right? So what is the find out? The question is to find out the following. So which item is find out first? Then PVR it is said. Then second, find out the fixed expense, and third one is find out BEP, break even point, and last 4th one is find out sales if profit of rupees 30,000, right? See, these are the questions you are required. Suppose maybe asked in exam also, right? Maybe. So first of all, find out PVR. See, you can see as well, there is a 2 years data, 2 years, 5 and 6. The result is that the amount of sales of both the year is given, and the result it means in terms of profit, right? And these are the profit, and it will be plus sign. And plus sign is indicated as profit, and minus sign is indicate loss. And if suppose either any one, it is not possible to hear the 2005 company earned profit, which is saying 2006 the company suffered from losses, it may be, so there will be negative sign, right? Then find out first PVR. So let us we are going to start the first calculation of PVR. First PVR, right? PVR. The PVR formula is changes in profit divided by changes in sales, right? Changes in profit divided by changes in sales multiplied by 100. Why? Because of the R stands for ratio, and ratio always it will be in 100, right? See, this formula and this formula is different. There is a difference, right? Why? Because of why this formula is we applied here? Why? Because of the data is given for in case of 2 years, right? In case of 2 years data, so this formula is required to calculate the PVR. If the single year's data only is there, if again it may be asked TVR, then this formula will be used, right? So be careful, right? So the difference in profit last 2 years, that means the 2005, 2006. Now what is the difference of profits, right? First of all, you should write the current year's data, right? While you calculating the PVR, so you should write the current year data, then previous year, right? So 30,000, and the difference is, so there is negative sign, minus, then 12,000, right? Then the difference in sales. Here the 6 lakhs amount of rupees as a sales in 2006, and here 5 lakhs 40,000. So 6 lakhs minus 5 lakhs 40,000, and here to multiply by with 100. So here 18,000 divided by this difference would be 60,000. So multiplied by 100, then answer is 30%, right? See, the PVR stands for the relationship between the changes in profit as well as changes in sales, right? So what is the difference? So here the difference is 30% as compared to 2006 with the comparison made with 2005, right? It means the selling and profit amount. Then second thing, find out the fixed expense, right? Then second, find out fixed expense. Find fixed expense. How you can calculate the fixed expense, right? So there is one formula is to calculate the contribution, not contribution at all. It required the contribution in total rupees, right? While you calculate the fixed expense. Why? Because of here the fixed expense is required to calculate in terms of amount, not in terms of per unit, right? So C is equal to S into PVR. If this type of information may given and along with the you are required to calculate suppose fixed expense, right? Then simple, the contribution is equal to S into PVR. So before the calculating fixed expense, you should require to calculate the PVR manually, right? So as the sales, it means the present years. The present year sales, what is it? 60,000, and also you can take the 5 lakhs 40,000 as 2005 amount of sales, right? So we can take 2005 amount of sales as well as 2006 amount of sales. Let us start with the amount of sales in the year 2005. So here the 5 lakhs 40,000, and simple multiplication of PVR is 30%, right? So C is equal to 1,62,000. It means it is in terms of rupees. It means we can call as that the total contribution, which is called as the total contribution, right? And one formula is there to calculate the contribution per unit, right? Which one is? C is equal to F plus P. This is the formula, simple, right? But in this case, we have the amount of fixed expense, right? We have the amount of, we are required to calculate the fixed expense. We have only the amount of total contribution which we already calculated, right? And the amount of profit. Here it is given, right? So C is equal to 162,000, right? You can put also this formula. You can put this formula to calculate the fixed expense. Likewise, that, right? So C is equal to 1,62,000, right? Next, whatever the amount of sales you taken into consideration while calculating the fixed expense, the same year the profit will be consideration. Profit will be taken, right? So here the amount of profit is 12,000. Here it is P. P stands for, that means profit. Profit, right? So the fixed expense is 1,50,000. 1,50,000, right? So this is the fixed expense calculation is completed yet, right? How the fixed expense is calculated? Simple. The total contribution is required, and for that purpose you should have the amount of sales, and before to make the calculation of fixed expense you are required to calculate, suppose PVR, right? We already calculated. So C is here, and simple, the C is equal to F plus P. We gone through that, right, as earlier. Then C minus P is equal to F. Simple, you just transfer to equal to sign. Suppose that C minus P is equal to F. If coming this for how it will come, you just P is adjust with the C in negative sign equal to F, right? So this is the fixed expense calculation. And now next calculation is find out break even point, right? Break even point. With the help of this given data to find out break even point. See, break even point is required F. So F we calculate fixed expense. So the formula is B is equal to F upon S minus V, right? So F we already calculated the amount at rupees 1,50,000. 1,50,000. So how S and V is required, right? See, you just one thing that the data is given in terms of unit is not at all, right? It means the data regarding per unit is not given well, right? So from which angle you can see here this formula either you can use or not, right? According to me it is not used, right? The break-even point is calculated with the help of new formula is that F is same, and here instead of S minus V you can put the PVR, F upon PVR, F upon PVR, right? And here the PVR is there, right? So in that case the answer is always it will be in terms of rupees. In terms of rupees, right? Why? Because of if you while calculating break-even point with the help of PVR, right? Then whatever the answer you will get, right? It is always in terms of rupees, not in terms of units, right? If there is in terms of units, so instead of PVR there is S minus V, right? Multiplied by 100. So simple F divided by PVR. So here 30 multiplied by 100. Suppose you don't use the symbol is percentage. Suppose here not you should use here, right? Then you should multiply with the 100, right? And if you put here the percentage sign nearest the 30, right? So the 100 rupees multiplication, right, is not required to multiply by here, right? It is not required. Why? Because of already you use the percentage sign with the 30, right? So the amount of break-even point in terms of rupees is 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs rupees. This is your answer. Break-even point in terms of rupees. Now complete. And last one is sales if profit of rupees 30,000. Right? So which formula is here? simple, you can add P, right? So cells required is equal to F upon PVR, the formula same which we applied in break-even point calculation if the PVR is already calculated, right? In short, હું તમને એવું કહું છું કે તમે PVR કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરેલું હોય BEP ની અંદર, if the cells required suppose find out, right, the same formula applied here and simple the amount of profit is given suppose, then you should add, right, and the same multiplied by 100. So F same 150, the amount of profit 30,000, then divided by PVR 30 multiplied by 100. Suppose you cannot use 100 here, so you put down the percentage sign near 30, right? So the answer is 6 lakhs rupees. 6 lakhs rupees. Find out the cells. If the profit rupees 30,000 here, then profit. So the amount of cells, it means the amount of cells if the profit rupees sign here, so always the answer is in terms of rupees, right? If suppose the specification is not given, right, then find out the amount of cells, the cells in terms of units, right? If in case of suppose irrespective of the profit is, the amount of profit is not given, right? So this is the example, practical illustration number 6. This type of example may be asked in an exam, right? I hope that all of you understood this example, and if you have query again, I am telling you, you can contact me freely, right? So thank you, dhanyawad, and keep it down, note it down for your future, for practice. So thank you again.